I want to show you the Ultimate Edition Roddy Piper figure here from WCW. A good one to add for my kind of Monday Night War collection. It's even logoed on the box. That's a good sign that we might see a lot more figures for that, so that's great for me. That's exactly what I collect and show here. So we'll open up, check him out, talk about his WCW appearance here for Piper. I just love when we can see like WCW on the box. Thankfully this one even has a date. That's really useful. I'm glad they might start kind of doing that. And he's got his little bio on the back. Pretty surprising he was only WCW United States champion there, because he's like the default world champion in the WCW Revenge video game on Nintendo 64. So kind of always figured I missed his championship run or something. Growing up, I just figured, you know, oh well, here's a legendary wrestler. We'd see him on old tapes of WrestleManias and things. Watching wrestling during the later 90s. So Ultimate Edition, we got 2 cloth shirts. You got the old Reality Check WCW shirt. They're like tank top ones though. We always had t-shirts, so we'll talk about that in a sec. In the Icon shirt, he was an icon, but it was an acronym. Super Mega Quiz Time. What did the acronym stand for Piper in his Icon shirt? Can you guess it? Nobody can guess it because it's really stupid. I cower over nothing. Or maybe N is NWO also. Wait, no, he wouldn't I cower over NWO. That's not the point, I guess. Jacket we will try out. Of course, it's sleeveless, but that's because the sleeves are kind of their own arms, so that he'll have articulation when he has his jacket. But you'll notice he doesn't come with a microphone, which would have been pretty handy for old Piper. He's got these weird kind of gesture hands, along with the other standards like fists and kind of the open accessory holding hands that would hold like a microphone. But we got the figure that comes with this head that looks freaking amazing, is like an incredible likeness for him. I had like an old like Legends figure of him, like an entrance grates or something like that. Really looked nothing like him. This Ultimate one is like dead on with the face, the hair. So then he's got the alternate heads. We got still a really good likeness with an open mouth. That one looks pretty cool. He's a little crazed there. Oh boy, he's not cowering here. And then we have even crazier yelling head. Loses a little bit of likeness. That's because he's doing the yell, so it's pretty cool. Once it's on the body, it'll look really nice. We'll check him all out. He's got cloth kilt, which is pretty awesome. Let's take a look here. It looks like plastic, kind of classic peg for the belt to keep the kilt on. It might not be too secure, ultimately. Ultimate Edition. But it does have some Velcro to kind of stay on as well. So of course the ultimate articulation there with the kind of butterfly shoulders. Didn't give him too buff of a body. I think it's pretty reasonable. That he looks a little wide with the shoulders out, but if you kind of gesture him in a certain way, he'll kind of have his correct build. The tights is blue, and it's a little bright. I think he had a little darker, kind of almost navy blue in WCW, so they kind of went old school WWF coloring for this one. So that's not quite right for the WCW thing, but this one you might want to have all his like shirts and stuff on, so kind of a bummer, because I usually like to just display them in the ring gear, but that does mean this kind of could double for a WWF Piper if you want an Ultimate Edition there. Here's his Roddy Piper boot. You can see the very faint gold into his brown kind of shoe. Got that little toe ultimateness going on. Does have the full knee there with like the extra bending, but then the knee pad's going to kind of block some of that motion. So the shirts don't have any of the Velcro. You're just going to have to kind of put it on him. Not going to be easy unless, of course, you do the taking off of the arms, which come out fairly easy there, and you can do the swap, where we're going to do the jacket arms. You'll probably want to take the head off too, but that makes it very easy. Since it has swappable arms, swappable head, that's going to come out, and then you can get the tank top style shirts, which kind of sucks that you can't do the full look. They didn't just do those, but then it would weirdly cover the jacket arms, so they were kind of stuck on that one. I feel you on that. I think they did about the best they could. The leather jacket's pretty important. I mean, here you can see, you know, it's going to like come through with the skin there. I think the idea is we're going to get this jacket piece on too, which I should have put that on first. But luckily the articulation of the Ultimate's going to let that get on there pretty well. So I mean, again, you kind of have to open it up if you wanted to see the whole thing, but you can kind of know that he's wearing the shirt. Does cover up the skin a bit, exposed a little bit, and so it's like the plastic and then the plastic of the arms, so it does kind of match pretty nice, and then looks different with the cloth shirt. So it is pretty cool. He's even got like the straps here hanging. Pretty nice jacket deal. Probably need to put on the kilt first before that too, so you really have to layer on all the clothing. But he's going to look really awesome with all his stuff, his kilt, the leather jacket. You can choose which shirt. You want him in Icon, you want him in Reality Check. It's a pretty worthy one for the Ultimate, because kind of lately they've just been versions where they just had the articulation and they didn't give him too much in the way of accessories and stuff. Here you can do so many different looks here, between the heads and all the gear. I'd say it's a pretty ultimate way to have your Piper. I just wish the tights would have been a little better coloring, but the heads look absolutely perfect for Piper. You could say he should have came with like the WCW United States title, but he had so much like accessory stuff, like 3 cloth accessories plus the way to do the jacket too. He comes loaded enough, really. So I'm pretty pressed. Usually I just kind of pick a look and go with it, but this one has so many options, you know, I might get him down and kind of switch stuff around once in a while. Just because he's going to look cool, like just in the jacket or just the shirt, no shirt underneath, like all sorts of different ways to have him. And this jacket really opens the door for an Ultimate Edition Alex Wright too, right? Or maybe just Elite. I mean, I'll bring my expectations down to reality. But any WCW figures around this time is pretty sweet, around the time of the NWO. Pretty prime for my collection. So Piper, a great one. Of course, I base it so much off that WCW Revenge game, my collection of figures. The unlockable beating the World Championship mode with Piper. So a big one that I was kind of having to use a classic WWF version of the figure of old for my collection for that. Since he really wouldn't have been around the Attitude Era, we can have Piper in because he was over at WCW. But now we have the real deal version here. So a smart release, and I was lucky to find it in a store, like for real, because you sure can't order it off of the Walmart site because they stock about 20 there for the entire world to order from. Or at least it feels like it anyway. So it is always cool to actually go to a store and find stuff because they just release so many figures that a lot of time that's just not possible because just different stores get locked up with different waves, and when they order more, you never know where they're at. But in general, this Monday Night War line is going to probably add a lot of figures here for my collection and for videos on this channel if you like that kind of Monday Night War time period. Definitely be looking out for the best of all those. Not really going to get, Kevin Nash promo this night figure, but something like this that has so many options, or is just a completely new wrestler to add to the collection, then I'm all over it. So if that's the kind of thing you want to see, you probably want to get subscribed and get over to the next video coming up here. Plenty more late 90s stuff to watch here.